One minute you are fine, and the next you're crying or yelling or both. And you're actually having a bit of an out of body experience because you're witnessing yourself do this and thinking, oh my gosh, what is the matter with me? Have you ever felt like that before? Welcome back to my YouTube show. I am Jenn Pike, functional medicine diagnostic nutritionist, medical exercise specialist, and have been in the space of women's fitness, health, and hormones for nearly 30 years. And when I tell you that I have heard it all from women, I am not just saying that. I have taught group programs, worked with thousands of women individually, and the stories never cease to amaze me in terms of how women witness their self show up and react in their lives, and always with this energy of that is not how I normally would be. Like, what is the matter with me? What is happening to me? How can we go from, a state of joy and happiness to then rage and sadness and subtly crying? And oftentimes this can get lumped under stress. Nowadays, it gets brushed under the rug of perimenopause without maybe fully explaining why it can be true that it's happening as part of your perimenopause experience. But it's really helpful if someone could explain to you why this is happening and going on, and what are some of the things that you can do to support yourself. Before we go a little deeper into the show, I want to make sure that you hit subscribe down below so you do not miss an episode that is coming up. Now, I think sometimes about moments when I have had this. I think specifically when I go back way before I was in perimenopause to when my kids were little and I was exhausted and I was stressed and overwhelmed, and they're just being kids, and I would hear myself just yell at them or snap with no patience, and I would witness myself and look at the looks on their little faces and be like, oh my gosh, like what is wrong with me? And that was a long time ago. I have teens now, but now I can witness myself do it in other ways. I can witness myself do it to myself, get angry and upset and flustered and frustrated with something that I have done without there being this moment of pause, reflection, and grace. And our hormones are running the show behind the scenes. Our neurotransmitters, massive implications as we start to age. And, it's like maybe one second you're laughing at a silly commercial, you're crying in a movie, and then you're snapping at your partner. You're folding laundry and all of a sudden you are sobbing. You're driving and one minute you're just looking around and the next minute you've got tears streaming down your face. First of all, I want you to know if this is you, you are not alone. And I need you to know that this actually isn't random. This isn't just happening for no reason. Mood swings inside of perimenopause, they're not just the same PMS that we had when you were getting your period when you were younger or even last year. I never had an issue with my periods. I didn't have cramps. I didn't have heavy periods. I had regular periods. I really didn't get a lot of PMS. I mean, the day or two before my period would come on, I would always say, like, I'm just feeling a little prickly today. And then as I got 38, 39, I was like, oh, this is more than a prickle. I'm a full-blown cactus. Like, don't get near me. You might get punctured. And then as I've gotten deeper into my 40s and I'm now almost 46, I definitely can feel that energy where I can start to feel it bubbling to the surface. And because I'm aware of it, because I teach about this, because I'm researching all the time, because I am sitting across the table from women like you all the time, I start to notice it, and I can stop myself before I get to that point where it feels like rage or it feels like I've gone too far and I can't pull myself back. These signs and symptoms when you're in perimenopause, you're not just feeling like this typically leading into your period. It can happen at any time of the month, and it can catch women off guard completely. And the reason is that when you've known your hormonal rhythm to be a certain way for decades that was once predictable, and now in perimenopause, it's not. When you've got estrogen and progesterone and testosterone shifting, and these hormones are directly related to your brain chemistry, specifically serotonin, which helps to keep your mood stable, dopamine, which helps to keep you in a good mood, helps to keep you motivated, and is that reward mechanism in the brain that's like, keep going. GABA, which calms the nervous system. When these hormones are fluctuating or drop suddenly, this is when your brain chemistry actually shifts and drops along with them. And so it's not that all of a sudden now you're too sensitive or you're overreacting. It can literally feel like your body is simply, not simply, but can feel like your body is hormonally hijacked. And so when we have these dips specifically of estrogen, that can really impact your ability to regulate your hormones. You could feel sadness or overwhelm literally out of nowhere. When progesterone is low, this is when anxiety comes knocking. This is when your brain starts to just go off and make all these stories up and all of these scenarios that put you into this anxious kind of worry wart type of energy and feeling. When both are in flux, this can mimic depression. Honestly, I've worked with so many women who are like, I don't know if I all of a sudden have ADHD. My brain cannot function the way that it used to. And so many women get misdiagnosed. So many women feel misunderstood. And there are lots of women where they do have ADHD. They do have other issues that are going on. And in fact, they've moved through majority of their life and not known that that's what the situation was until they got into either postpartum or perimenopause. And that is because when you have these big swings, these big fluctuations of these key hormones, which are chemicals and they're chemical messengers that are connected not just on an endocrine level in your body, but to your brain and to every receptor and every cell in your system, there is like a full body, full brain, full agency shift that is happening in the body. And this is why for so many women, they feel like I hit close to 40 or close to 50, and I feel like everything started to uncouple. And I just was not the same woman that I used to be. And it's very difficult because this is not just emotional. You are not just being emotional. This is biomechanical. And when we start to see that way and we go in this energy out of like shame or self-blame and you start to understand, oh, there's literally chemicals that are shifting in buttons in my body. I'm not ready. We don't move the same way that I used to. My massively impact your moods and how you're feeling. This is when you can start to really understand that there's something bigger going on than you just being moody as you get older. You just being tired of being stressed. You just being emotional. And one of the things that I love for clients and women that I'm working with to do is I teach a lot about tracking your cycle and tracking some of these hormonal swings physically, but also mentally and emotionally. So can you start to create this level of emotional pattern tracking? And this is how you can start to shift from reacting to understanding. So if you track things like your sleep or you track your eating and your stress levels and then the timing of your emotional spikes, you can see patterns that show up. And so you might see that you have certain moods that come up or maybe around the time that you're ovulating or when you would have typically ovulated. Maybe you normally would, you're a little bit dehydrated, you were in an environment with negative people, something came up that you weren't anticipating, that this is when your body just feels resiliency and all emotional control. When you can start to recognize this, you can step back and stop, shaming yourself and blaming yourself and go, okay, I am noticing I have triggers. It's really important for me to be hydrated. It is really important for me to not be in that environment with people who have that kind of energy because it friggin' sends me on a spiral emotionally. You start to then be able to shift out of this blame energy and into supporting your biology, supporting your body. Maybe you in something like Omaze, and training is an incredible way to actually move a lot of that stagnant energy. Throwing around weights is pretty dang in a crummy mood and you're feeling low. Getting outside for your walk in to tap into natural antidepressants and help to raise not only that dopamine, but serotonin, which is a precursor to that neurotransmitter. Maybe you need some adaptogens like ashwagandha or holy basil right now to simply support your body. Minerals. The amount of us that are depleted in minerals, and not just magnesium, but potassium and sodium, and really looking at the body as a whole. It's unbelievable what can happen when we take a step back, we stop naming and shaming ourselves, and we start to look at it through a curious lens and one where we say, I do not want to feel like this anymore. I don't want to be functioning like this in my relationships, in my house, with my kids, with my coworkers. That is a decision. And when we make the decision, now what you're going to start to notice is you will pay attention to some of the things that are beginning to trigger you. Okay, so this is huge because you're starting to build, honestly, like a hormone intelligence emotional kit for yourself. You're becoming more literate about your own body, and then you're going to know, okay, I'm starting to feel this coming on. I need to actually step away for a minute. I need an energetic boundary. I need to go for a walk. I need to put my phone down and close my eyes and focus on my breath. I need to meditate. I need to get in the flippin' sunshine so I can feel good and have some serotonin. I need a snack. Have you ever seen a toddler have a tantrum and you're like, dear Lord, someone give the child a snack? You are just a large toddler and you might need a snack, okay? And when I talk about this, and I talk and teach about this all the time on my podcast in groups from big stages, I'm writing a lot about this in my new book, The Audacious Woman. When I talk about this, oftentimes what I hear from women, very similar to you, is, I actually thought that I had a mental health issue that was going on. I've had women say to me, Jen, I thought I had dementia. The way that my brain just wasn't firing and wiring the same way that it used to. My teens came to me and thought I had anger issues. My partner thinks I don't love them anymore and that I don't want to be with them anymore because of my moods. My coworkers don't want to be with me anymore because I am so irrational. I'm crying because someone finally hears me and someone is saying the things that finally make sense to me. I haven't felt like myself for I can't even tell you how long, and I've gone to my doctor and I've just been dismissed. I've gone to my mom and been like, "What was your experience?" And she was like, this is just what it is to be a woman. You kind of just got to suck it up." I've heard it all. And I just want you to know that you are not alone. I don't want you to carry this alone. I want you to feel seen right now. I want you to understand that there's nothing innately wrong with you. Your body is here as this beautiful microphone and this incredible chemistry lab that we get to walk in every single day. And when something doesn't feel right, listen to your body. I always say, trust your body above all. And just understand that your brain and your body are speaking a language you haven't let or you haven't learned yet. We weren't taught this. We were not taught as young girls to trust our body, to pay attention to our intuition, to lean in when the body was whispering, to definitely lean in when the body was yelling. And I want you to know, though, that you can learn this language at any time. It's not too late for you. It's never too late. This is literally what I spend my days doing, is teaching women in their 30s to their 70s, to be honest, what they should have known about their bodies all along. And I've created comprehensive guides that are free for you to download. And so if you're looking to support your mood, you're looking to create a little bit more what feels like equilibrium in your body, I have 2 free guides you can download today. The first one is my free 7-day workout series. This is 7 videos led by me. I give modifications. There's all different styles in there of strength training and yoga and Pilates and bar. Give it a go, completely free. This is designed to help to support your nervous system while also making you feel amazing, being so proud of yourself and helping to build your muscle. And then the other is my perimenopause support guide. And if you look down below, right after you hit subscribe so you do not miss an episode, you're going to see the link for both of these. So make sure that you download them, because I really do feel like they are the first step in getting you back to feeling like yourself again. Thanks so much for joining here today. I'll see you back next time.